Welcome to the Barre Beat podcast, live from Raylene's. Ooh, whoa, whoops! Look at you. See that? That's what happens.
I didn't.
From Raylene's basement. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Raylene, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
You're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm hearing some jabber that there may be an incident right now in the city, in the area of Brook Street. So if you're out and about, please try to avoid the area and let the emergency services do what they need to do. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that for now because, you know, it's only word of mouth right now of what may be going on, but just give them some space.
Yeah. Hey, are we streaming to the Barre City Community fan page?
Well, let me look for you, Michael.
Yeah, because I'm looking there
And you're not seeing it?
yeah, it looks kind of weird.
Oh, well, I see it.
You do? Okay.
I do.
Well, in that case, I'm sure it's good. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. We have a pretty short show, but wanted to just give a little rundown of what's going on in the city. And specifically for tomorrow night, we're going to have a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably discuss the executive or legislative breakfast this morning that I had the pleasure of going to.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Is that a lie, Michael?
Would never tell a lie.
Uh-huh. That's why your beard keeps getting longer and longer.
My nose is getting longer too.
Uh-huh.
It was great.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yay.
So, what are we going to do first? What would you like to talk about first? Do you want to tell everybody about that first? What do you want to do?
I suppose we could touch base on that. So this morning we had the legislative breakfast, which here's a picture. I took a picture. I was going to live stream it. Mm-hmm. And I told everybody that I was going to live stream it, and they were super thrilled about me live streaming.
Yeah, I'm guessing as super thrilled as they are when you try to record anything that you've ever tried to record, Michael. I have never seen so many people get so upset about recordings as
the
people
I know,
around here.
I know. But so anyway, I didn't record it.
Complete panic mode.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's silly. But it was we had quite a few people show up. Sadly,
Good.
Sarah did not make it, but she did text me. One of the questions that I asked was to Peter Anthony, who I feel so bad for the guy. I mean, Peter, starting off. So first off, we had Andrew Perchlik there. We had Peter Anthony, Jonathan Williams, Gina Galfetti, woo woo, Topper McFawn. I did the woo woo because Gina was 1998 classmate with me.
Of course.
And she was the only one that sat with me.
Shocker.
I'm so loved by everybody.
Uh-huh.
And Jackson, I'll announce what you're talking about very shortly. So Peter gets up and he does, a quick intro, and then we all pepper him with questions.
Oh gosh.
Poor Peter. I feel bad for him. I mean, it was fun. There was the question that was asked. And it sounds like it was a question that I would ask. It was about the 5% cap for the budget. Mm-hmm. And the question was, the last meeting you came to the school board and said, spend over that 5% cap. Because you should. It's there for you. But then the question is, so you said that, but the joint fiscal offices of the Ways and Means, or chairs of the Ways and Means, and the finance chair of the Senate
Are saying do not.
Are saying that's not what that's there for. Can you reconcile that for the board? And I'm sure everybody thought it was my question. but it was Sarah Bragen's question. I mean, it's a question I would have asked. And I was planning on asking about that. But yeah, she
got the question out first.
She didn't get it out first because she texted it to me. So I love Sarah.
Well, good question.
It was a very good question, and it needed to be asked.
And it's all extremely, as I said last week, it's all so confusing, and it's certainly confusing to taxpayers. I was very serious when I said I think that there should be a meeting that is nothing but you all explaining all of this language, but in terms that the average Joe can understand. Like literally, I said school budget for dummies.
Yeah. That'll probably never happen, but it's a
I
great
know it
idea.
won't. Well, I know it won't happen. We don't do those sorts of things. But it would be nice. It would be very nice.
If any school board member wants to come on and explain the budget, and everybody's like, well, you're on the school board, but I'm not on the finance committee.
Right.
So
it's not your thing.
And plus I voted no on the budget. So I would be biased. So I wouldn't want to do that. But
well, I think a lot of people are thinking no about the budget right now. When you think, I think the majority that I have heard from, that's their thought. I mean, we're talking big bucks as far as increases go. And there are already so many increases in just everyday life, daycare, fuel, groceries. It really can't take much more. And then never mind what the city and town and everybody else took for losses on the flood and increases there. It's tough. It's a big decision to make.
No, you're right.
Especially when you know there's a surplus sitting there. And we've heard that over and over. I think everybody pretty much knows at this point that there's a considerable surplus, and that just like the city or town or anybody else, you got to look at the budget and figure out how you're going to spend it and spend it wisely.
Yeah. I mean, the surplus that's there, I don't think is as high as what they're asking for an increase, though. And I don't think it's high enough to lower the tax rate. It's definitely not high enough to cover the tax rate, because in order for us to lower the tax rate, we'd have to go beyond that 5% cap, which would have been maybe $2 million, from the 4 million, I think that was the
even
increase.
If you don't lower the tax rate, not raising it would be great.
Yeah. I mean, could be worse. We could be in Burlington. They're going up like 16 million.
Yeah, no thanks.
No, you're not up for that?
No, not at all. No. So,
but anyway, so yeah, we'll try to find somebody to come in and give a presentation on that. Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah, she's signed in. Trying to get her into politics.
I know, me too.
Yeah. If I even say the P word, she runs like hell.
I know.
I'm trying to get her to get a Shih Tzu too.
Yeah.
She already has one.
She already has one?
Yes. And I know where there are some beautiful puppies, Shih Tzu puppies that were just born, a bunch of boys. I'm trying to get her to get one of those too.
Don't tell my mom. So do you know about the Green Mountain Wrestling Winter Slam?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
I
Jackson
know about it,
posted
yes.
So he's saying that this Sunday at the Elks Lodge, 2 p.m. Do you want to give a little plug for that?
Well, I just know about it. But he can post it on the Barre City Community fan page. That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Well,
I just know that it's
anything about
happening. And it's just, I don't know a ton about it. I just know that it's happening.
So Jackson, do a little write up and I'll read it very shortly. And Jennifer wants the puppies.
I know all 6 of them Jennifer wants.
All right. So let's move on to the city council meeting tomorrow night. So we had that grievance hearing on Tuesday night in public, which is the first time we've ever had a public grievance hearing. Not the first time I voted no to go into to not go into executive session, because there's been times before that I don't think we should have gone into executive session. I actually don't think we should be in executive session to do collective bargaining agreements, but that's me and I'm a terrible person. But it's one of those things that, the city has a very much vested interest in it. But so anyway, we had that grievance hearing, and tomorrow night at 6 p.m. when we call to order, it's a special meeting. The regular meeting is at 7 p.m., but the grievance hearing is at 6 p.m., which we will make a determination on whether we uphold the meeting or not the meeting, but the grievance, or not uphold the grievance. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that, so when a union is not happy with a decision that's made by management, they have the right to appeal it to city council, and it comes to city council. Then the city council will vote on whether or not to, say, the city was wrong in this, and you should take corrective actions. And tomorrow night will be no different. It's a normal process to make those decisions. I think that will be in executive session.
And so, and then last week you did end up basically hearing all of that community wide. It was, you weren't sure whether they would keep it executive session or if they would go ahead and do something differently. And they did something.
Yeah.
They did do it community, open to the public, I should say.
So in that, I'm sure there was a write-up in the Times-Argus, so folks can take a look at that. Mm-hmm. Then there'll be an acceptance of the Edward Byrne Memorial JAG grant. So basically that was a grant that we have to vote to accept. It's going to pay for replacement of outdated patrol rifles, new badges, and uniform shirts. But it made me think, when are we going to get those cameras? Do you know? Because I want those cameras, the body cams.
I don't know. That would be nice. I wonder when we are going to get them.
Because
they were already ordered, correct? Those were already approved, bought, and paid for, correct? We don't have to worry about those.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we paid. We're going to pay for them.
Right. We don't have to worry about them getting nixed because of all these budget issues. Is what I'm asking.
No, that's happening.
All right, good.
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Trying to think if that was told to me in confidence.
Well, then don't say it. If you can't remember, just
because it's important to know that, our police officers go through a lot of crap.
Yeah, they do.
And I don't think people really understand that. And I'm not going to say what I heard because I don't know if that person would want me to, but it's not like, 9-to-5 job working for an insurance company where you go home and the worst that you've got is, a frustrating day. When those folks go home, they may have bruises, scars, all that stuff on them. And the emotional baggage alone is just terrible.
Right.
So,
and I always say that too, even just with the opioid crisis alone, how many overdoses they respond to, how many people they have to revive, and the stuff that they are up against. And a lot of times when those people are revived, they're combative. They, literally come up swinging. That's just what happens. And I can't wait for them to have them. I wish they were here already and already in use. Yeah.
And we have the resolution concerning VMERS-D. That's just, changing the retirement plan. Mm-hmm. We are going to approve the manager to execute the contract for the public safety building HVAC. So the public safety building was built, I want to say 2006. I think it was somewhere in the documentation, actually. Yeah, I think it was 2006. Now that I remember when it happened, because we lost a ball field behind North Berry School. But
Turn you up a little bit.
Oh, you got to turn me up a little?
Yep.
Is that better? Is that a little bit better?
Probably.
Okay.
We'll see.
So the HVAC, some reason the HVAC system was not that great that they installed there, which is kind of strange and frustrating. But anyway, so we're replacing that. And then, of course, we've got for new business is the consideration of placing Good Beginnings funding request on the annual meeting ballot. So what that means, Good Beginnings didn't file their request to be added in to the normal group of nonprofits because there was like a management change.
Right. There's a new director there now. Nicole DiDomenico is the new director. And there was no director for quite some time. And then they found her finally, just like happens many times with many positions all over. It takes a long time to find someone. And they finally found her, and she just barely took over just a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago.
Her name sounds very familiar, and I can't
She's
think
also on the Rotary. So you may have heard from her about her there. She also, you may have met her at the studio. She's somebody who was hoping to start her own podcast. So you may have heard JD and I talk about her. Okay. But she's involved with a lot of different things, community related. And she was at Norwich University for quite some time. And she just retired from there and decided to come do this instead.
So it's $1,000 that's going to be discussed. It's to add it as a ballot item. We've in the past, the city council has made that exception, and every single time gotten
quite a bit of grief.
Quite a bit of grief about it on whether or not the council should be doing that. And, according to the policy, the answer is no. So will the council go against the policy, or will it, make the decision to make that hard decision to not put it on the ballot? But I will say that if the council does do that, there's plenty of time to get signatures for putting it on there.
Good.
All right. Then we've got the presentation of the emergency management. Not sure what that is. There was really no supporting information in the packet. So it'll be just a presentation.
And who is doing the presentation? Do we know that?
Stephanie Smith.
Okay.
Yep. So she's the state's hazmat mitigation officer. She's been an invaluable resource for the city as we both recover from July's flood and also prepare to rebuild in a more sustainable manner to mitigate the future disasters. So Nicholas did invite her to discuss buyouts so that council staff and impacted residents can have a better understanding. So, with that being said, if you are in the North End and you want a buyout, or you just want to know things, you should come tomorrow night to the meeting or tune in. And Raylene, if you don't mind dropping the link for that. Oh, wait, I can do that myself.
I was going to say, or ask your questions. But definitely participate, ask your questions, get your information. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, of misinformation out there right now. There's a lot of, and this is my opinion, and Michael's going to cringe. His eyes are going to get bigger than saucers, and you guys just won't know it or see that. But there's a lot of fear mongering going on, and a lot of just overblown information. It is an election season after all. There's a lot of stuff going on, and so you want to make sure that you make the other side look real crappy or make yourself look really good, one or the other. And there's a lot of that going on. So I can't say it enough. Be present, be there, know, listen, as it's happening, and voice your opinions and concerns. Now's the time to do it. The same with these meetings that are going on on the North End. There's different meetings for different wards. I believe this week is Ward 2.
Ward 2.
Ward 2 at Brook Street School, correct? At 5 o'clock?
Correct.
And so if you're in Ward 2, please come out. The first meeting that we had the other night on the 17th, I thought was a great meeting. There was some good conversation, but not as much conversation as we needed to have. I heard lots of mumbling under the breath or conversation after, where people were talking amongst themselves. And really, I really wish some people would have expressed those concerns out loud on the mic, so that the people that need to hear these things are hearing them.
Yeah. And I'll say that one of the pervasive rumors that are out there is that people are afraid that the city is going to take their house. And there's never been any discussion about that.
Of eminent domain.
Eminent domain being used.
Oh, I know. I heard the same thing. I heard, from the high rise all the way to 6th Street, bulldozed.
No.
Never. That's just ludicrous for that rumor to even be out there. But it is. And just please, there are people listening to you. There are people, and when you don't, that means that other people are making decisions for you.
Yeah.
And the majority of those people are not the people that you want making your decision.
No.
I know they're not, because I've talked to a lot of people in the North End, and I know what they're feeling, and I've been begging them to just please be open about it all. And unfortunately, a lot of people have just said, why? Why bother? They don't listen anyways. They're just going to do what they want anyway. They've seen different posts and comments and articles in the paper about who should come first and what should happen with this and what should happen with that. And they're just kind of at their wits' end. And it's sad. And you know what? I often hear, and I've heard this from 3 business owners as well as several residents, that the North End is the forgotten end, and it's been forgotten for many years in the city.
Sad.
It is sad.
Well, it's certainly not forgotten. I mean, it's not going to be forgotten. I hope we don't botch it. I hope that, as a community, don't botch it.
I hope not.
And I hope the council doesn't botch it, but we'll see what happens. But the ward meetings, do you have
But even
those?
the council botching it can't botch it. It can botch it, but not really. If they don't have your information, you can't blame them for what is done.
Correct.
So if it's truly that important to you, then get them your information. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it at the meeting, on a microphone, standing up in front of everybody, each counselor in that ward has an email that is public. You can send them an email. All of you, I believe, have your phone numbers published and are always willing to have emails, phone calls, and conversations. And so I strongly encourage that one way or another, that you get your message and your point across.
And just to reiterate the times That's weird. The times for the meetings, and I just posted the North End neighborhood survey, and then Alice posted right afterwards. So if they're not exactly together, but the link underneath it says ricktaff.woofoo.com forms. That is actually the link to the North End neighborhood survey. So if you're in the North End, go on there and take that survey. Again, Ward 2, Brook Street School, tomorrow, tomorrow, Monday.
Wednesday. January 24th from 5 to 6:30 at Brook Street School, which is 45 Brook Street. And then Ward 1 is Thursday, the 25th from 5 to 6:30 at the Spalding High School Library. And that's right there on Air Street. And then on Monday, so there's a little skip here, Monday, January 29th, also from 5 to 6:30, is Ward 3, and that will be at the Mutwa, which is on 20 Beckley Hill, or Beckley Street.
And I will also drop a link to the page on top of the link that I've already dropped for the survey, so that people can go there and get some information from the berrycity.org. Moving on to the next item will be volunteer activities report. So Adam Jacobs is going to be doing the volunteer activity report. He was the volunteer coordinator for the city. And then the last item will be the discussion of the mediation proposal, which Sam Stockwell is bringing forth a conversation to have a mediation for city council, to have a mediator to work through our differences. Anything, Raylene? Got nothing? All right. So in that case, let's move. So tonight was the city employee holiday party, or as I like to call it, the Christmas party. Because you know why?
Right. You said the naughty word.
What's that? Christmas. Because there's like reindeer, there's Santa up in the corner.
So where were you? Ladder one?
It was ladder one.
Yeah.
Look, there's Santa Claus is right up there. You know, you got the snowflakes.
Isn't it beautiful in there?
Usually the snowflakes are the one that are complaining that I'm using Christmas.
Good one, Michael. Good one. Damn, I'm proud of you. There's Larry and his wife, Angela. I see them in the picture.
Former city councilor Mike Smith, who is now an employee. Yep. There's quite a few people. There was quite a few people.
Did you get to see Mr. McKenzie tonight?
I did not. You know, he didn't show up.
He didn't?
No.
He thought he was retired and he didn't have to go to your Christmas party anymore.
I guess not. There's Jake Drown. It was the water person.
Blip, blip,
Water
blip,
person.
blip.
So there was 3 counselors that showed up. Michael Deering, myself, and Sam Stockwell.
Good.
And I'm just going to go through. We had quite a few people. So there you can see Chief Vale there. And we had Native Tongue. They were playing Bob Nelson, who is a sponsor for the Aired Out podcast.
He is a sponsor for the Aired Out podcast.
Which
and you know what else he is? He's also a committee member of the Police Advisory Committee.
He is. I saw him.
And do you know
today.
where he lives? Barrytown.
Oh my goodness.
But what would we do without Bob Nelson? I would love for somebody to tell me because I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I'll say this. So I talked to him today about possibly, I kind of went over without talking to you about this, but I'm sure you won't be too upset. I'm looking at your face.
Having him come in?
Well, no, I know you wouldn't have a problem with that. About doing a Barre Beat in the
hardware store?
In the hardware store.
Great. Let's do it.
Yeah. And he could give a comment on the Barrytown side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And
he could tell us about the great work that they're doing on the advisory committee.
Yeah. Yeah. He has done that before.
Yes, he has.
I think, was Kristen with him? I don't
remember who came. I'm not sure. But you can finish doing your pictures.
Oh, Alice made a comment. She's like, "You just passed short and moved into moderate. Time for the meeting. Keep going, and you'll get me over time." I love you, Alice.
Oh, gosh.
So I do want to show some more pictures because it was a fun night. And we had. Oh, well, that's not very nice. Let's throw that up there. We had some more people. Oh, look, and there's a little Christmas tree right there. Mm-hmm. And more snowflakes for the people that are offended by the Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you had several other people. It was a pretty good showing. Good. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad.
And Nicholas got up and, talked about the folks that have been there for super long time.
Like Rowdy, who retired but is still working. I knew he wouldn't give in. I knew it.
You're not supposed to just do that.
He knows. He knows. I mean, when he said he was going to retire, he told me that. I saw him one day. We were talking. He says, "I'm going to retire. So I'm only a few weeks away." And I laughed like hell when he said that. Yeah. Rowdy wouldn't know what to do. He just loves the Zamboni too much. And he really loves what he does.
Yeah. I don't think I saw him. He may not have been there. I don't remember.
Was it a free meal?
It was a free meal.
Yeah, he was probably there. You probably just didn't see him.
I probably did not.
Yeah.
But Nicholas got up and he, mentioned a couple people and, oh man. So someone had been there for 35 years. And I feel terrible. Oh, it was Clint.
The water guy?
Yeah, and now I can't think of his last name. I think it's Clint Smith, right?
I think so.
Yeah, 35 years. 35 years.
Yeah.
I know that Hool has been there for 15 years. Mm-hmm. And Joel has also been there for 15 years, but I don't know what his last name is.
Yeah.
So it was pretty awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. So congratulations to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's pretty much it. I hope my fingers just keep on click, 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 click.
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that we have.
Nothing else
to talk about. I mean, that's it for the agenda, right? Nothing else.
No, not really.
Hopefully you don't have to go into executive session until crazy hours or any of that. And
no, that's school board, not city council.
Smooth meeting. I'm not going to lie. I love it when you run the meetings because everything just goes boom, boom, boom. There's such huge cooperation and stuff. Have you ever thought about running for mayor?
I have thought about running for mayor.
You have? That's
Are
good.
You trying to get me to announce right now?
Well, not just yet.
Don't worry. I'm not running for mayor. Oh, man. Anyway. All right. Well, with that, since there's nothing else, and Alice has already said that we
JD says, please.
I'm not going to announce I'm running for mayor because I'm not doing that.
Please announce it, he says.
Anyway, all right. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. Raylene, I hope you have a wonderful evening as well.
I hope you do as well.
And we'll see you guys maybe next week. Here, we didn't talk about Ron DeSantis.
What, that he's done? He dropped out.
I'm so disappointed.
He's out of it.
You know, I made the comment. Okay, now we're going into overtime.
Go ahead.
All right. So let's talk about this like whole race, right? Like what frustrates me about this is that, you know, people that don't want Trump there, they were voting for Nikki Haley. But Nikki Haley doesn't have Trump votes. She has Nikki Haley votes.
Right.
DeSantis was skimming from Trump. And if you didn't want Trump, you should have been voting for DeSantis. Nikki Haley should have dropped out. What do you think?
But now she's in it, and probably for a little bit longer. Maybe she'll give in too. You never know.
It's 50%. Like Trump has a huge stranglehold on the Republican Party.
Yes, she does.
Huge stranglehold. Which, listen, I'm not one of those people that says Orange Man bad. I'm just not. You know, as I said in one of my posts recently, we're going to have a rematch of 2020, Orange Man versus Walter.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
Although if Walter went away, I wouldn't be sad. We were talking about him this morning, also affectionately known as Joe Biden, and the fact that he has dementia, and you know, well, he does. And I don't care, even if you're a Democrat, you should be scared shitless that you would want that man to run and win and be running this country any longer. He's a dumbass.
Look at that. We're losing viewership.
Well, I'm sure.
This.
Well, we said we were leaving.
I know. Oh, wow. We're down to 10. We were up at 22.
Well, I have more than that on mine, on AO.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I show 10. We should really kill the thing and start talking about Gaza.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. Sorry we ruined the show. Talking about national politics.
Yeah. Well, Lord.
All right. Guys, have a great evening. Thank you for watching the Barre Beat podcast live from Raylene's basement. Hopefully on Main Street soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great evening.